The Philippines has sent a note verbal to China to clarify what happened along Pag-asa Island earlier this week. The Bureau of Fisheries and Aquatic Resources will start its crackdown on the illegal sale of some fish imports in wet markets. And the World Health Organization has declared measles as an imminent global threat. Fast, focused, and fearless, here's a roundup of stories we're watching now. I'm Jess De Los Santos. The Philippines has sent a note verbal to China following the encounter with the Chinese Coast Guard near Pag-asa Island. Foreign Affairs Secretary Enrique Manalo said the move seeks to clarify what transpired over the weekend. Earlier this week, the Philippine Navy said Chinese Coast Guard used force in retrieving a rocket debris from them. Beijing eventually denied this, saying it was handed over after friendly negotiations. The note verbal was issued and delivered upon the instruction of President Bongbong Marcos. The MMDA says that the transfer of funds from the Department of Information and Communications Technology is legal and above board. MMDA Acting Chairman Romando Artes said this in response to issues raised by Congressman Paul Daza. In a privileged speech, Daza said some 3 billion pesos were transferred from the DICT to the MMDA. He called the transaction, quote, highly suspicious. The amount was supposedly taken from the DICT's 12 billion peso budget for the free Wi-Fi program. A Caloocan cop has been found guilty of torturing 2 teenagers and planting evidence against them during the height of the Duterte administration's war on drugs. Faith Del Mundo with the story.
In September 2017, the body of Reynaldo de Guzman alias Kulot was found floating on a creek in Gapan, Nueva Ecija. His head was covered with tape and his body has over 30 stab wounds. Day before that, Caloocan police killed de Guzman's companion, 19-year-old Carl Angelo Arnaiz. Both killings happened during the Duterte administration's war on drugs. Caloocan police claimed that Arnaiz and de Guzman robbed a taxi driver. This pushed them to launch a follow-up operation where Arnaiz was killed after allegedly resisting arrest. But the autopsy showed a different story. The report said that Arnaiz was handcuffed, beaten up, and drugged before he was killed. 5 gunshot wounds were also seen on his body. Because of the contradictions between the statement of the Caloocan police and the autopsy report, the case was brought to court. However, it would take 5 years before a conviction was handed out to Caloocan cops Jeffrey Perez and Enrique Arquelita. Perez was found guilty beyond reasonable doubt for 2 counts of torture and planting of evidence. He is sentenced to 6 months up to 3 years imprisonment for torturing Arnaiz and reclusion perpetua for the killing of de Guzman. Aside from this, he is perpetually disqualified from holding public office. He will also suffer the penalty of reclusion perpetua for planting evidence against Arnaiz. The court also ordered Perez to pay 2 million pesos to each of the victims' family. Meanwhile, Ricky Arquelita passed away in prison in April 2019 due to massive blood loss from upper gastrointestinal bleeding. Senator Bato de la Rosa, who served as PNP chief during the Duterte administration, said that this only proves that the PNP does not condone abuses from its ranks. The National Police said they respect the court's decision on the case.
Nire-respeto po natin ang desisyon ng ating korte sapagkat alam natin na ang desisyon ng korte ay dumaan sa mga masusing pag-aaral at masusing proseso. Hindi po natin tolerate ang anumang kamaliang nagagawa ng ating mga kapulisan, whether ito po ay sinasadya o hindi sinasadya.
Meanwhile, the murder cases of Arnaiz and de Guzman remain pending before a Navotas court. For News 5, Faith Del Mundo, we are One News.
In other news, the Bureau of Fisheries and Aquatic Resources, or BFAR, will start its crackdown on the sale of imported fish like pink salmon and pompano in wet markets. Based on an administrative order, frozen pompano and salmon are reserved for institutional buyers such as canneries, hotels, and restaurants. The selling of imported fish is also only allowed during closed fishing season or during calamities. Wet markets will only be allowed to sell imported fish until December 4. Fishers Group Pamalakaya slams BFAR over the crackdown, saying the agency is focusing on small-time vendors rather than smugglers.
Malinaw na hindi talaga sincero ang DE at saka BFAR para maibsan natin o mawala, no, yung kakulangan natin ng supply ng isda. Ito siguro yung counter reaction nila para kunwari meron silang ginagawa.
More stories after this short break. Stay with us here on One News Now. Still watching One News Now, I'm Jess De Los Santos. Measles has been declared an imminent global threat. The World Health Organization and experts in the U.S. warned of measles spreading in various regions worldwide. The WHO says COVID-19 lockdowns affected vaccination coverage and disease surveillance. The health department earlier warned of a measles outbreak in the country by 2023 amid low vaccination rates. COVID-19 restrictions are back in China despite the government announcing its easing over a week ago. The details in this Bloomberg Quick Take.
Over a week ago, China made a major announcement to ease its harsh COVID restrictions. But now it's back. When they announced regulations that cut quarantine times for inbound travelers and asked cities to reduce mass testing, many saw the policy change as a sign the country was opening back up.
做到既要防住疫情，又尽可能减少对经济社会发展和民生服务保障的影响，既不能层层加码，也不能随意的减码。
Despite the new measures, policymakers also stress that China will not lift all controls and live with the virus. The mixed messages are causing confusion on the ground for local officials. As the country is going through its worst COVID outbreak in months, cities are going back to lockdowns and mass testing, and it's fueling backlash and even social unrest. As infections multiply with 3 COVID deaths reported, it's becoming increasingly unclear how China plans to achieve its goal of switching to targeted COVID control measures. One thing for sure, though, China's reopening process will likely remain slow and cautious.
BTS member Jin is reportedly set to begin his mandatory military service next month. A South Korean newspaper reported that he will be deployed to a military unit on December 13. Last week, Jin hinted on a social media post that he is headed to a quote frontline position. BTS agency HYBE and the South Korean Ministry of Defense have yet to comment on his enlistment. Miss Universe 2022 Philippines Celeste Cortesi is gearing up for a celestial pageant run next year. MJ Marfori with the details.
A celestial walk to the universe. Miss Universe Philippines 2022's Celeste Cortesi is now in her fighting form for the January 14th pageant. From her celestial walk to her Q&A prowess, she is indeed prepared to take the Miss Universe crown. Despite fears that the new pageant franchise owner, Thai billionaire, and Jacques Rajutatip may be biased towards Thailand, Cortesi feels it will not affect her chance of being the next Miss Universe.
To be honest, I'm very happy about her, and I believe that nothing is going to change with the new owner. I feel like everything will be very fair, and I'm just focusing on my preparation. I feel like I just want to meet her.
Celeste also shared her emotional reunion with her mom, whom she has not seen for 3 years. She recently surprised her in Italy, who she says is the reason why she is doing her best.
I will never get used to this. I will never get used to the feeling of not seeing my mom. And, you know, when I saw her face in the video, when she saw me, I was just so happy. It's something you cannot describe.
Celeste and her team will be leaving for the United States by mid-December to prepare for the Miss Universe pageant next year. For News 5, MJ Marfori, we are One News.
For more updates, visit News 5, the Philippine Star, and Business World online. Visit our website, onenews.ph, for more in-depth analysis. You can also catch One News on the Signal Play app. Register for a free account now at www.signalplay.com and stream One News live anytime, anywhere. I'm Jess De Los Santos. We are One News.